Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back for your daily crypto news and analysis. And with that in mind, I hope that you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there in the world. We have a lot to go over when it comes to Hedera and Hbar. Guys, I want to ask all of you out there, do you think that Hbar is going to become a top 5 project? Now, I asked for a like and repost over on X, but in this video, I just want to ask you guys to hit that like button and also comment down below if you do think that Hbar will become a top 5 project. Now, on top of that, I want to go over a few things. So over here, I said if you go back and look at the connections that Hedera has forged in the last 3 years, you'll notice how big Hbar will be. All the work that has been done is to position Hedera at the forefront of the digital revolution. Every industry, every sector, anything and everything of value, it will be all disrupted by DLT. We are ushering into the age of utility, and now it is so crucial to focus on the legitimate players in this industry. People can laugh, people can talk about the price, but you can't ignore the facts. Hedera will be a blue chip in this space, and its journey into the top 10 has already started. Now we just wait and watch the show play out. Now, I was quoting this post actually made by Credible Crypto, and he's looking at this Reddit post made by this guy named Kamambra. This is 19 hours ago when he did post this, and what's more intriguing is this photo was in the original Hedera tweet, but then it got deleted. And what is this? Well, first off, we have, did they just accidentally leak the next GC member? And over here we have building the future of finance. Let me zoom in for you guys. Building the future of finance on Hedera. Now you have the CEO at Swirls Labs here, but then on the right side you have Aberdeen, Citi, which is the head of strategy and partnerships of digital assets at Citi, and then you also have Australian Payments Plus. Now, Aberdeen and Australian Payments Plus are both GCs of Hedera. What's Citi doing there? Very interesting. Now we have from Credible Crypto at the top, in case you missed it, Hedera held a private meeting in New York City yesterday on tokenizing RWAs and other related topics. In a now deleted picture originally shared by the Hedera account itself, but since removed, we can see a slide titled Building the Future of Finance on Hedera, with 3 speakers listed, the top and bottom, both current/known Hedera GC members, and sandwiched in between the head of strategy and partnerships for digital assets at Citi. There's some speculation that Citi may be the next GC member and that this was an accidental leak. I think this is well within the realm of possibility, if not an unannounced GC member, then at the very least an unannounced use case from Citi would make sense. No other reason to remove their original post and repost with the single image below removed. Interesting spot from the Reddit sleuths. Now, when we think about this, does it make sense for Citi to utilize Hedera technology? Does it make sense for Citi to even be in the same room as Hedera? 100%. We know from past and previous discussions that Citi is at the forefront of tapping into DLT technology. They want to be at the forefront of blockchain technology. They are here to innovate and revolutionize their internal business model through DLT and blockchain technology. In fact, if we go back a little bit in time, just to November, right? This got posted by Subjective Views. Now we have Jane Fraser, CEO of Citi, gives a great example of real-world application of blockchain technology. So what's next? We need jurisdictions to develop and introduce different regulatory regimes and approaches for new technologies such as crypto and virtual assets. Now we already know that Citi is using blockchain technology around deposit and trade services for institutional clients. This got announced back in September, actually, regarding this. Now, back in 2021, Jane Fraser even said in an interview, I believe it was with Yahoo Finance, that they are inclined to utilizing, crypto, blockchain, DLT, especially around, finance and trade and things like that. And well, now it's 2024. The entire world is different when it comes to crypto and blockchain and DLT. You have the biggest names already diving on in. So why not bring in Citi. JP Morgan's already utilizing private-based technology. We know that public blockchain-based technology is the real deal. We know that that is where all of the money actually is. There was a recent article put out regarding traditional finance and how they prefer public blockchains versus private blockchains. Regardless, I'm going to play this clip for you guys. Listen closely.
Love the analogies that you used about AI. So Jane, turning back to you around, mostly around the fintech space and what's happening around other types of technologies like blockchain, digital assets, and what Citi is doing to use those to really enhance the experiences. And what do you see as the key challenges and opportunities for global banks, and how are you approaching all this space?
This is one of the areas we give a real shout out to HKMA as well, around the framework that's been put in place, because I think we've seen as new technologies, particularly in the digital asset space, come out, if you don't have the right framework around, it really inhibits both the innovators, it inhibits the institutions, it certainly inhibits the users and the consumers. So having the framework, this is an area we've certainly found, HKMA, so thank you, Eddie, it provides exactly that. And I think that's why we're seeing quite a few of the leaps forward here in areas such as tokenization and the like. Blockchain took a long time to really get some more sort of traction in many of the different areas compared to, I think, what we all thought about a decade ago. I remember we first went to the board 10 years ago with blockchain. Thinking it was going to be faster in it. What we're seeing at the moment is more of now, I think, the convergence with tokenization in the technologies between what's happening in the real world, as it were, together with these technologies. So I'll give you an example. One of the big canal authorities in the world that we work with, we've put together smart contracts together with the payment capabilities and the tokenization on a blockchain ledger that now enables ships, instead of waiting a day and a half and having to put things through fax machines. It takes about a minute and a half for the payment together with all of the documentation, the smart contract, to get the permissioning to go through. So the types of efficiencies we're starting to see from the technology, it gets to be very exciting. Similarly with the RLNs, as we start seeing CBDCs getting connected together with the actual payment networks around the world. We've been doing some work with the Fed on that. We've been seeing Banco do Brasil doing the same thing. Brazil and the UK, obviously this part of the world is doing a lot of innovations there, but it's seeing these two converging, I think, is where we're starting to see much more action and greater traction coming. And it's getting much more exciting. But again, we need to have the right regulatory framework for us to be able to work on this in a responsible way to everybody's benefit. And that's when things start getting going.
And this is something that I always talk about on this channel. Once we have those frameworks in place, once we have regulatory clarity around the space, everything changes. Like we're talking about Hedera Hbar becoming a top 10, top 5 project. When it comes to utility, when it comes to regulations, things like that, we will essentially see these projects like Hedera that are providing real world application solutions and already are adopted by enterprises out there and being utilized at scale. We're going to start to see them really the spotlight will be stolen immediately. Why? Because they've been building here for years. They've been focused on what matters. It's the same exact thing when I talk about Ripple, right? Like they've been at the forefront of compliance. They've been working with regulators. They have been building and utilizing these solutions. It's not about hype. It's not about speculation. It's not about any of that. Like they're here. They're doing it now. At a time where we don't even have the frameworks and regulatory, clarity in place yet. So imagine when we do, all of these players now that are focused on the fundamentals, focused on the boring things, they're not hyping up nonsense. Imagine how those boring projects that went through every single, loop and ladder to get to where they are at now, imagine what they look like in a regulated environment where everything is, clear, it's transparent. And now all of these big players that were telling you their plan, like Citi, BlackRock, JP Morgan, Bank of America, all of them, imagine what happens then. And that's why I look at these projects like Hedera, like everyone can sit here and cry about price action all day long. It's not going to change the price action. I don't have the power to change the price action. I'm not paid by any of these companies to talk about them. No, I talk about them because when you when you separate the price action to the substance, because right now price action is heavily reliant on what Bitcoin does and what speculation and hype does. But when you separate that and you actually look at the facts here, you look at the data, you look at the adoption, you look at these use cases, it becomes very clear that this is not going to be cheap forever. This is not going to be, a $10 billion or $100 billion project. No, we're talking about trillions. Because the total addressable market here, even around tokenization, is in the quadrillions of dollars. And that's just assuming that we get to like a 1% adoption rate in terms of like trillions for crypto, which 1% in terms of tokenized assets on chain, that's a very small number for the efficiencies and for the solutions that are already in place. We're still addressing like 10% at least, which would be well over $100 trillion for this entire space. Now, beyond that, right, back in 2021, Citi put out an article saying, DLT, time to shine. Now, I fully broke this down with ChatGPT, and we have the article discusses the evolving role of DLT in transforming the post-trade environment within the security services industry. Initially met with hype, DLT is now being pragmatically applied by major banks and financial market infrastructures to address real-world challenges. Guys, this is 2021, the beginning of 2021. It's now 2024, 3 years later. Imagine where we are at now. Notably, DLT is facilitating the trading and settlement of digital assets like security tokens and is being explored by central banks for developing digital currencies. Tangible progress has been made in various markets such as Switzerland, Singapore, and Australia, with initiatives focusing on creating regulated financial market infrastructures. DLT offers operational advantages such as improved data usage, synchronization, and reduced reconciliation, potentially leading to more efficient trading and settlement processes and lower cost. However, challenges remain, including the need for global standards, integration with legacy systems, and addressing liquidity issues associated with immediate settlement. Regulatory bodies have generally shown receptiveness to DLT, with some advocating for harmonized frameworks to oversee crypto asset issuance, which, by the way, is in place for the end of 2025 from the FSB, instructed by the G20 with the BIS and the IMF and the World Bank. The article emphasizes the importance of industry collaboration in setting standards and highlights the need for monetizing DLT to benefit the entire securities services value chain. Securities services value chain. Interesting. The DTCC is settling $2.5 quadrillion worth of securities in a single year. So you still think that we're going to be valuing these utility projects in the billions? Absolutely not. Overall, successful adoption of DLT could significantly enhance operational efficiencies in trading, settlement, and asset servicing within securities markets. And yes, even when we look at this, right, over here from Citi, digital assets, and this is what their use cases are outlining. Tokenization of private markets proof of concept, Citi token services for cash, for trade, digital custody and settlement, issuing and paying agent for digitally native vote or notes, pricing and execution of trades, regulated liability network proof of concept. Like, these are what they are developing in partnership with their clients, which are very substantial. And here is DLT, Integrated Digital Asset Technology Platform, seeks to enable clients to leverage DLT-based capabilities. You have access, use, streamline, deploy, all through DLT. And even down here, they break down every single one. And here you have Citi has worked with Wellington, WisdomTree, and DTCC digital assets to demonstrate how private assets could be tokenized and open up new capabilities through the power of smart contracts and blockchain technology. Guys, the DTCC is the name that is settling $2.5 quadrillion worth of securities in a single year. They are going to tokenize securities. Everything of value will be on chain through tokenization. It's going to happen very, very small at first, and then all at once, we're going to see an absolute flood coming into this entire space. And this is all catering to the internet of value. And this is from Citi, the regulated internet of value, all through tokenization. DLT is a superior mechanism to represent and transact digital value. DLT may provide always-on resilient, global, programmable, multi-asset financial networks. And yes, this is going to happen. This is already in progress. Tokenization and DLTs, it is the future. And the most reliable, the best in class technology providers, the ones that have been at the forefront for so long, are going to be the ones that really reap all the rewards. And this is why I say, when we look at Hedera and when we look at like the last 3 years and all the connections, all of the movements that they've been making, every single thing that has happened in the last 3-4 years around Hedera is all setting the stage for where we are headed. So make sure that you are paying attention to what is going on here, because it is so important to understand that value comes from utility. Right now, yes, value is tied to hype and speculation, but think about how big this market is based on just hype and speculation. Imagine how much bigger it is going to be off of utility. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on, get some more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.